a successful first road test in the 4Runner, it's time to get it on the dyno for a tune to see what kind of power it's making. So we're down at Dave's workshop to do just that. Now the boys have no idea how it's going to perform, so let's take a closer look at some of the build specs before we spin it up. Under the bonnet, we're running a Holden Gen 3 LS V8 block that's been bored 40 thou over. It's upgraded with a mild cam, fresh pistons and rings, a 6-litre manifold, and it's got an electronic drive-by-wire throttle body that lets us talk to the Haltech LS Rebel. Time to see how it goes.
$110 dB.
That was third gear.
What's that?
Yeah.
You see a gear pull?
Otherwise, you'd be doing over 200k. The back guys can't take the spin.
110 dB here. You're probably 120 down there.
It's coming out of the tyres. Go up there, mate.
So are the tyres noisy? Yes, the tyres are noisy.
After a few runs, we've pulled a pretty reasonable number for the LS1 with 182 kilowatts. But Brendan is wondering about the effect the tyres and diff might have had on those results.
So a big heavy wheel, we're trying to turn it at 180 kilometers an hour. Like you grab one of those wheels and try and run with 180 kilometers an hour, we get how much energy that takes, and we're turning to it.
Is that the same situation as driving it though?
Yeah. So that's why when you put big wheels on a car, your economy suffers. And it doesn't matter what you're measuring back there, it doesn't change what it's making at the crank. I mean, you might have a pretty number, but it does dictate what the engine actually makes.
Yeah, you've tuned it.
Yeah. The gearing would be the first thing.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what's in the back.
Full ones, like that's what came in these.
Get rid of them.
That restores the gearing to sort of stock gearing with the 35.
You 4.6s, you reckon?
Yeah, because you killed the gearing.
So the dyno tune is done, and we've got a few things to think about with the diff ratios. But before we handle that, we asked Dave to tune the exhaust note for us, so let's see how it's all come together on the trip back.
That was pretty epic. You want one more to go?
Diff gears. We're at that stage. We put it on the dyno, we've driven it. She's good for taking to the salt lakes, but we want to get it a bit more out of the hole, a bit more poke on the street. So what we got here is we've pulled the front diff out and we're running a 411 or a 4.11 is what we got. Russ has got a, what do you got here? A 4.6, Russ. Yeah. So we've got a new crown wheel and pinion to put in, which we got here. Now we're LS converted, keep that in mind. A 4.6 is what we're after. We've done the math. Look, it was doing around 1400 RPM at 100 Ks, but it was slow off the line. And being more of a street machine, this car really is, we want something that's got a bit more pickup from the lights. The internet tells me that it should be around close to 1600 RPM at 100 Ks. We'll see what it does though. So we pulled the front diff center out. Russ, just show us the difference between what we got here. So the 411, we'll call it a 4.11, so I'm not confusing you. We're going up in ratio here. And what's that got? Closer?
It's like your old 10-speed mountain bike. When you got it in high gear, you push it a bit harder, and when you go in a low gear, you got more revs at the crank. So yeah, this new set of gears will get us out of the hole a bit quicker when we take off from the lights.
So we were going to do this, but it's not our jam, and we've got the local guy, Phil, the 4x4 shed, to do it for us. So we're going to take these centres down to him and say, Phil, you know what you're doing. We don't want to do this job twice.
Well, there's a bit in it.
There's a bit in it.
Yeah, there's some expertise that, it's out of our...
So we've got a fresh set of bearings here. So new bearings are going to go in there. There's a bearing on this cram wheel that goes in that way.
There's a whole lot of measurement and checking that's got to go into it. And like I believe you got to, shim this to get it to the correct height so it meshes correctly with the ring gear. So we'll leave it up to Phil.
We don't want to have to do it twice. We're going to take it to the expert. He's going to do it. We'll pull it out, shoot it down to him, bring it back, put them in, and then we want to see what magic comes out when we're driving it. That's what we're interested in. So fresh set of gears, fresh set of Japanese bearings here too, ready to go. We'll show you how we're getting that rear diff out. So to get this diff center out, there's a couple of things that have to happen. We have to take the tail shaft out, which is unbolting it from where it connects here to the diff. We actually need to pull the axles out because they're pinned in on a spline into that crown wheel setup. To take the axles out, we've got to take the calipers off. So calipers off, axles out, tail shaft down. Then we can start unbolting the diff center from the front and pull it out. Bit of a process. If you're going to do it on the ground, it's going to be painful. There's a bit of weight in it here, but where do you take it from there?
Well, I suppose we get stuck into taking off the calipers and, dropping the oil out.
Just draining the oil out of the diff, mate. Hoping it's blue flavour, not orange flavour. Oh, she's a bit of dark chocolate, mate.
Right, and front GU diff on it so that we can get it back in the front. Don't want to mix it up, mate.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be going backwards.
Well, that's right. Upside down, mate.
Seal. It's too big for the grub screw so I'm not quite sure what that's from.
Yeah.
It's just come out in the diff,
So
which is
seal retaining spring.
It is, yeah.
Should be right, look. Here's one. You don't want to get in there, do you?
I got it.
You got it? Yep. Alright, seal baby this time. Well, there's no real muck in there. So that's good news. I think we just send them down to the diff shop and get those guys to change it over for us, the ratios. Yeah, well, they're going to take off these bearing caps and simply just replace, well, not that simple, but replace the ring and the pinion gear and then reassemble it. But there's quite specific tolerances that have to be met, and it's well beyond my capability. So I think it's better off that we send it down to the guys that know what they're doing, and then we can just put it back in.
We might try and chase up some sort of container, put that in, or just sit it on the front seat of on the leather seat.
Front one on the front, one on the back.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
right.
worry about a
We can
strap.
just carry one and
Yeah, just chuck it straight in the back.
yeah.
I reckon I've found where this little guy appeared from, and I think that's him there. This is our new, well, it's a pinion seal. I think it goes in here. When the diff guy pulls this apart, he'll replace this seal. So yeah, that's where the mystery has been solved.
The boys got all the parts packed up and sent off to the diff shop. And a couple of weeks later, it all came back ready to be reinstalled.
So we've got our diff back from the guys, the 4x4 shed, and they've meshed it all up for us. So we're going to whack it back in and reassemble the front end. So
on the next episode of Car Builders, Russ takes us through the final parts of his light bar build for the 4Runner. So make sure to subscribe to Car Builders to catch that.